Alright, so I can finally sit and record this freaking video? Maybe? I just wanted to talk about disappointment quick because I was expecting to get the climate incentive thing. I don't really agree with the tax, but very few things surrounding the green incentive stuff actually benefits the poor. And I don't necessarily think this raises the poor out of poverty by any means. For the most part, I think it's like a rope that the government dangles like every fucking quarter, where it's like, if you grab on, you could like slowly build a better life. But most people are just so like torn because of, struggling and surviving and shit, that they just keep hanging themselves with it. Yep. So anyways, I guess it's a good thing. No, I had plans for it. Fuck. So, anyways, yeah, it's really disappointing because it's my daughter's birthday, and you really shouldn't have bought like plans to buy the present the day of the birthday, but that was the plan, and then we would have a little bit left over for the week, and that would be like for the food and shit. Um, I think I've got enough lunch snacks for the week. Other than that, I've got some pop and juices and stuff, but I don't have, I'm not gonna have enough money to like replace milk and stuff like that, so it's gonna be complicated. So I wanted to talk about disappointment because that hit me pretty fucking hard, and then I just I feel like I'm in a good mindset right now, but it still hits hard. So I wanted to talk about the good mindset, but it's also still hitting very hard. So anyways, once it hit, because how you handle disappointment is really important in the world, and how you choose to handle bitterness and your level of gratitude and the amount of work you're going to put into something. So I was like very vocal on Instagram about a feud that I was having, and it's been like 2 years. It took a long time for me to reach a breaking point where I literally just shoved their shit back at them, like it, in the most literal sense. And like really, that's all it is. Like I'm just, whenever I get to my breaking point, I don't do anything but hold a mirror up. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do the same thing back to you. But it's been so hard in my life. I don't know if it's like the people that are in my life or how I am with the people. Like it might not be like the people, just us interacting like brings out the worst in me, the worst in them. Like I don't know what the fuck it is, but like people push me to my fucking breaking point constantly. It's like I'll just set a boundary and it's like, well, that's not that important to you, is it? Okay, no, not really. Well, that's not that important to you, is it? Like, and on until there's no like restriction. It's like no agency over my own life, and that's not fair to put that on anybody else. But like, Jesus fucking Christ, how do I keep letting people push me that much? This feud has been going on for 2 fucking years, where I've been like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I know like they're lying to my face and shit. And it's just more disappointment, and so much disappointment. And like I said, how you choose to handle bitterness and disappointment, you can't be resentful. That's like one of the first things. Like even if you're like really pissed off in the moment, and you can be pissed off, and I believe in those things that say like, if you're not going to be upset about this in a year, then don't spend more than, like, I forget what it is, like 5 minutes on it now. But it's like, it's not really realistic when you're getting through day to day. A thing that like restricts your days that much can really affect you, even if it, in 5 years you're not going to remember it. Like, and That sounds silly because it's like, well, if it's really affecting you, then clearly you're going to remember it, but you might not, especially if you actually do deal with it as it's coming in. But that means emotionally dealing with it. And the disappointment, like, I didn't just sit and go like, okay, we're gonna have a great day. Like, it is what's going through my mind, but I'm also going like, this is really hitting me hard, and I just need to sit with this quickly, like, because it's, you know, my daughter's birthday and I want to go have an enjoyable birthday with her. But for me to actually be able to do that and for this not to be seething underneath the whole day, then I really need to sit with this, and I'm very upset with myself, for one. The reason that this didn't come in is because I didn't file my taxes on time. I thought you were supposed to file them by April, like sometime mid-April, and apparently if you don't do it by March 15th, it'll be late. I didn't know that. Like, up until last year, the climate incentive was your like tax back if you're that broke. So I have no idea what any of this, and it's like, okay, sure. Meanwhile, the hospital didn't fill out the birth registration like they were supposed to, but I've been getting child tax benefit and my kid exists, like, what? So I have to wait like 6 to 8 weeks for this, and I have to wait 8 to 10 weeks for that. And like, if the government could get its shit together a little bit, like, if it got its shit together, I wouldn't be getting the climate incentive. But that is a different story. um, Not just me, like, that wouldn't exist, but but it does, and it's very helpful right now. And see, like, that's what I mean. Like, the more I'm actually dealing with it, and I'm not just going like, okay, this sucks, but hey, happy day, good happy face, and positivity, and all of that stuff, which some people can do, and that's cool if you can do it. I can't, and I am a very positive person. I just can't put on a front about it. If I'm sad and if I'm hit with a wave of sadness, I'm just gonna sit by myself for a bit and go like, okay. So one of the weird things is when you have nothing and you're in a survival mindset, and it's like a scarcity mindset. This is like shit that I was reading in memes. And then you switch over to an abundance mindset and like not surviving, like planning, like actually putting in effort for the future, not just the day to day, right? That is so complicated when you actually don't have much, so scarcity, and you are actually surviving day to day. Because I think my mindset did shift to that, but like I said, I still don't have like a bunch of stuff. So I'm like, abundance, like, you know, it's Haley's birthday. We're gonna do like a lot of fun stuff. Like, okay, I'll get her a present whenever the money comes in. That's fine. And we're still gonna have the same like day today, so that's good. But what can we do instead of getting the present? Okay, like, I've got this giant thing of arts and crafts that we very rarely touch because, oh my god, it's a giant thing of arts and crafts. I'm not an artsy and craftsy person. But yeah, we could do that today. And then we've got like a bunch of board games right here. There's a bunch. And I was thinking we could do that too. And like, that's the thing with an abundance mindset. I've got a big, beautiful house, and I've got 2 great kids, 2 great dogs with big, beautiful hearts, big, amazing brains. Like, we have enough, and not having that for the week is going to be tough. The birthday, like I said, we'll get that whenever it comes in, but the actual money for the week, like, I need to turn my phone back on. I actually need to call some people. Like, oh, okay, I was planning to call this week. Shit. I can't even check the CRA thing without having my phone because of the one-time passcode. So again, need the money to check when I'm gonna get the money. Okay. So lots of shit going on. And like I said, like, I'm sad because I know this is like on me. Because, okay, I did mess up. I wanted to do them a lot sooner, my taxes, but I completely forgot this year. And then by the time I did them, I was like, okay, well, it's like filed like immediately the way that they work now. And I don't have a lot of like stuff to submit. So it's like, okay, all good, all good. And then, yeah, I just like, now I'm going like, Yeah, I kind of like knuckled under that one, but the reality is I really should have done it sooner, and I was procrastinating, and that's a pattern in me, and that's fine. I know my patterns. I'm trying to break them, but I want to quit smoking. I wanted to quit this week. I think I'm going to strive for next week. I don't think I'm going to worry about it this week, but I do want to try and cut back, and I quit smoking weed. This doesn't hinder that much, but it does make it a little bit more emotionally difficult, because like one of the things I was gonna, like, Coca-Cola is a huge addiction of mine because I have 1 2-liter bottle a day, and yeah, right now I'm out, so I'm not gonna be able to buy that. So I'm like, okay, that was gonna kind of like ward off the weed cravings, which is like silly, but that was gonna be my goals, my plan. Like, so now I'm just kind of trying to shift my mind. Like, okay, it's getting nice out. Maybe we can go for walks. Like I said, today we've got all of this stuff we can do, and then maybe oh, we still got bingo at the top there. Haley would love that. Then we can go outside. It seems like it's still not the best day today. It's like rainy and stuff, but maybe if it gets nice out tomorrow, we could go then too. And for the rest of the week, like, and that's what I mean. Like, even if you don't have a lot of stuff, because I've got a lot of stuff. Like, realistically, especially compared to how much I used to have, then yes, I'm definitely because I was on the list for a while too, so I'm definitely on the like tipping scale of like, especially with toys. We hoard toys now because I don't think I don't think I've ever made them like throw away bunches of toys. We've thrown away stuff when they're broken and stuff, but like, okay, let's go like declutter the toys. I don't think I've ever done that, but I do it for everything else. But even if it takes like a year in between. Well, a year is like normal, but it's like I'll do like one thing and then like, okay, I'm gonna do this next week, and then a year later I do that one. Okay, I'm gonna do this next week, a year later. But it works. Like, the place isn't cluttered or anything. But I might declutter this thing today. But that's what I mean with an abundance mindset instead of a scarcity one. Which is like, it's a meme. It's not like a scientific like statement or anything. But I like it because when you feel like you've got nothing, you don't really like. There's a way that you interact with the world, and it's a little bit different. But when you feel like, you know, I don't have too much, but I think like I'm safe. Like, I've got enough stuff here to get by. I know I'm going to be getting, my finances like whenever the fuck I get them, and especially in countries that have like incentive programs like this where, you don't die just because you're struggling a little bit with like where you are career wise, let's say, and maybe you have a family, you don't have too much support, you've got dependents and stuff, and it's like, well, where do you get the child care? And then like one of your kids is still at home, and you get the help for getting that certificate. And it's like it's a lot of like just random little stuff, but the reality is like you've got enough, and like with an abundance mindset, the key isn't to be like, oh, I'm entitled to all of this just because I am. Definitely not. That's not the point. But it's not also to be like, I'm gonna have everything, and just that's how it is. It's more like I know the work I put into my life, and I'm gonna get what I deserve back out of it. And in some ways that can be very much misinterpreted. There are some people that, oh my God, like especially the people I was talking about earlier, they just take that stuff and run with it and run like entire villages off of cliffs with it. Like, not good. But for the people who really do work really hard, work fairly, and try really, really hard to like produce enough stuff, like it depends on what your job is, okay? But like if you're into like carpentry and stuff, if you're making enough stuff to thrive instead of just like sustain yourself, like, and if you're like, you know, into, I'm trying to think of other professions, like there's art, that's it. But whatever job you're doing, if you're doing more of it, then, you know, like, it's actually, it makes me think of the story that Jordan Peterson talks about a lot. Oh, it's the fucking Bible, but the way he talks about it is the story of Cain and Abel. Whenever he says Cain was giving like his like secondary prize stuff as sacrifices, and Abel was always giving his top stuff. That is true. And I was doing like the secondary stuff for a while, but it's like once you actually realize like, okay, why are you doing this to begin with? And usually it's because you're not actually being true to yourself and what you want to do in life and stuff, or you're just like really lazy and but if you're not, that could be a reason, and procrastinating and stuff like that. But then once you actually get to like, okay, you know what, I'm going to try my hardest and do the stuff that I'm supposed to be doing and everything, then whenever you face things like, you know, disappointment and all of that stuff, like that's where the abundance mindset comes in, because it's like, you know, there's enough good to go around. I've got a lot of it. Like if I just look around at my life, I'm very, very happy with it and I don't need much more. But there is some stuff like, you know, the basic surviving stuff, not being able to afford the groceries that I was planning to do this week is a big hit. But even then, it's not like we're gonna starve. We've got enough to get by for a week. It's 6 days and then I'm fine. So that, like, we're okay. But even if it weren't that, like, the abundance mindset thing is knowing that you are okay and that there is something coming to you because you're putting in the fair amount of work. Like, okay, here's a great example for like when you're working and stuff. There's like people who have like families, they're working, they're single, they stay home. Like I'm a single stay-at-home parent, and there's a lot of people that like have families and couples, and one works, one stays home, both work. Like there's so many dynamics, and in all of these dynamics, there are different amounts of effort that you have to put into everything to really be balanced in your life and to be thriving and to be prioritizing the right things and caring about the right things and putting in the proper amount of care to the things as they're like in your life, you know? So there's like your work, there's your family, there's your friends and everything. And if you really are living authentically, and it's like I said in different videos earlier, like if you're unsettled or settled, it's like aligned, I guess. And some people could say chakras, like I don't know. But if you're really like living that and you're fine, then these disappointments and stuff, they don't worry you as much because you know you're doing your best. So it's like, you know, okay, I messed up. I'm going to be sad about it. I'm not going to sit here and hate myself over it. I'm just going to be like, okay, next time I'll do better. And I am going to be upset with the system that I'm upset with right now. And I'll be like, okay, next time I'll understand it better because this was just kind of my fault for not understanding it. And the same with the other thing that's going to take 8 to 10 weeks. That was, again, my fault for not understanding it. It's not necessarily not a faulty system, but I really should strive to understand the faulty system before I start blaming the faulty system for my shit. So, but that's the point. Like the whole like abundance and scarcity mindsets. The scarcity is like you're gonna run out of like emotions or time. It's not even running out of stuff. And the abundance is like, we're good. We've got enough in this life. You are enough. So yeah, complicated video about disappointment. I had a great joke, but I got cut off by that thing that was tripping up on my phone. So I might add that to this. Okay. Tried to record again and I got cut off because of something going on my phone. So this is just a day. Anyways, I wanted to talk about disappointment. So the irony is not disappointing. ironically.